Bill McIntosh teaches AI non-stop. Success is his game, marketing's his fame. McIntosh, the marketing ace, follow his lead to the winning place with AI and a color spin. Join him now, learn to win. Learn his way, don't delay. If you do, you'll make your fortune today.
Hey, hello out there, and welcome to the show. I'm glad you joined me. Of course, I'm that guy, Bill McIntosh. He was singing about. So that was my corny intro produced by AI. I got a new one coming. Next week, we have some new show intros we're going to be testing out. I'll let you guys vote on your favorite. We have a few of them we're going to try out. So that was using the version 1 of Suno, which is a great AI app that we've talked about in earlier episodes. Which if you want to learn how to make that type of an AI singing avatar, you can check in my show library. You can look on the channel and dig in there and find out about that. But don't go anywhere yet, because I've got an action-packed, content-filled, hopefully sneeze-free broadcast. But okay, see if my... apparently not. Hopefully I'm getting those all out of the way before we get started. But there we go. So give me a big hello in the chat. Actually, let me know in the chat. Say hello in the chat and let me know if you are indeed watching. There is sneeze number 3. Holy cow. Okay. Great way to start a show. So, yeah, anyway, give me a hello in the chat and we're going to get things kicked off. There we go. Okay, good. Always got to make sure that I'm coming through loud and clear so you guys can all hear my sneezes at the right volume. Okay, good. Welcome, everyone. And by the way, while you're here, make sure if you haven't yet that you subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified on our next live show. Also, all week long, I'm posting content to the channel covering all of the things that you need to know in current modern AI marketing, entrepreneurship, how to actually produce a profitable business in today's environment. We're releasing stuff all the time, and you can subscribe to the channel. You should see the subscribe link right down below this video. All right, a little power up of some caffeine content power. And away we go. So on today's show, we have 4 segments planned. And we're going to be covering number 1, how to profit with an email newsletter. So we're doing a live experiment, by the way. We're actually experimenting and testing out a brand new business model, all centered around building an email newsletter and launching it. And so today we're going to do a little case study and talk about somebody who went big and made a lot of money using email newsletters. And then, of course, tune into our next live broadcast. We're actually going to start revealing our live case study. So we're actually building an email newsletter from scratch, starting with 0 subscribers. We're going to ramp it up, expand it, turn it into a profitable enterprise all in of itself. And we're going to show you step by step how we do it. So that will debut next week. But this week, we have a case study. We're going to talk about somebody who made, basically built a multi-million-dollar business from scratch as an email newsletter. So we're going to cover that today. Then we're going to talk about how I stay productive all darn day, or as close to it as I can. We're going to talk about productivity and how to adjust your life and your schedule. And there's a few little tweaks, little hacks that you can do that are going to help really give you a lot. Yeah, because let's face it, you have to get a lot done in order to build and start and grow a profitable business. That's just the reality of it. So I'll share a little bit of what I've learned, some insights of what helps me get a lot done so I can build my business. Then we're going to cover the 6 best books, the 6 best marketing books that you as an entrepreneur and as a marketer should have read. And don't worry, they're not big, giant books. They're not difficult reads. In fact, some of them are just useful to have around so that you can refer to. We're going to talk about those 6 books that every entrepreneur, every marketer should have in their library. And we're going to talk about a special kind of video today, an infinite scroll video. So we're going to be, and I'll show you an example of this in just a moment. So we're going to be going into this unique AI styled and AI built video. It's a very unique and different style of video. And we are currently using it in our ads with some great success. And I'm going to show you an example of one in just a moment. And then at the end of the show, our final segment, I'll show you how to build and how we built that exact ad. So there we go. So today's show is sponsored by my company, Push Button AI. And on that note, I'm going to show you our first AI ad for Push Button AI this week that uses the new infinite scroll technology built by AI, and it's pretty darn cool. So let me show you the ad, and a little bit later, I'll show you how we made it. Here we go.
Tried and failed at building an online business, or you've got no idea where to start, there is good news for you. We are entering a new exciting era of AI, and I'm here to teach you how to use it to build and grow an online business. Because I'm handing you a blueprint, a business in a box powered by AI, and it's called Push Button AI. Imagine a tool so smart it does all the heavy lifting for you. Builds an info product business, sets up hosting, launches the website, and even crafts engaging email sequences. Here's the thing. This isn't like anything else out there, and this is based on what's working right now. Push Button AI is based on my experience of generating over $100 million over the last 20 years and helping over 81,942 customers build and grow their own online businesses. If you'd like to find out more about this, register now and dive into my free live demo to uncover strategies and traffic tricks that will pivot your business and skyrocket your online business from surviving to thriving. Imagine what your life would look like today if you bought Bitcoin when it was $1. You now have the same opportunity with Push Button AI since nobody else is doing this. Don't miss out this time.
Pretty cool, right? So that's our infinite scroll video ads. And this week, we're actually doing a live masterclass showing off Push Button AI so you can see step by step how we build powerful, profitable businesses, 100% push button simple with AI. You literally push a button and it builds a business. It doesn't make an article, little piece of content or a headline, or you don't have to chat back and forth with some chat bot. Instead, answer a couple of questions and push a button and it builds a business, launches a website, sets up your hosting and all that stuff. And you can go right now. I popped the link into the chat, but it's pushbutton.ai/free class. So if you're not already a Push Button AI customer, head on over there and you can learn all about our private beta program. Register for that free masterclass. We're doing it live literally tomorrow night, that we'll be holding that live. So go register if you haven't registered yet. And if you're not already an existing Push Button AI customer, go check it out there. And I will show you a little bit later exactly how we got AI to make that ad for us. Anyone can do it with zero technical skills, zero design skills, zero knowledge of anything. You can make an ad just like the one I just showed you. And in fact, I'll pull it up on the screen. I'll show you how we made it. And what I'm finding is those kinds of ads are making us a lot of money in our ads, but also as social posts. Being able to just post those organically have been pretty powerful as well. All right. And I think that gets me ready to start the show. Oh, I got one more thing I got to do before we get into today's content. We announced a contest last week for one of you who engaged with our content. And we have a $100 prize winner I would like to announce. And in fact, let me see if I can pull up that video. Give me a second here. I'll pull up the video I'm talking about. Let's see. It is, let's go to my channel. And here, let me screen share. I'm going to share my entire screen and we'll share this screen here. Okay. There we go. So here's over on my channel and under the video tab, it was this one here, 5 tools for AI. Of course, I'm Bill Mack. We gave a link out to this last week and we said we were going to award one lucky engager with some cash prizes. So we got $100 and the prize winner is the One Dark Goddess. And I believe you're usually here on our live shows. So if you're here, speak up in the chat. You are the winner. You have $100 cash prize for engaging with the channel last week, as we talked about. So there we go. And this week, we're going to have another shot at winning some prizes. So at the end of today's show, we're going to give you the next challenge. And those of you who stick around and engage with the content that we share with you at the end of the broadcast, you'll have a shot at winning $100 as well. Fantastic. So congratulations to, was it the One Dark Goddess? So I think I know which customer she is. I'm pretty sure she's a Push Button AI customer, actually, if this is who I think it is. But Samantha will take care of reaching out and getting in touch with you, and we will award you your prize. But if you're here with us live, make sure you speak up in the chat so we can get you taken care of. Okay, awesome. Cool. Okay, yeah, Jay in the chat just confirmed that, yes, that is a customer. Okay, cool. That is, okay, awesome. Well, fantastic. We have another prize that we'll be giving away again at the end of the broadcast, so stick around with me, and you'll have a shot at the next $100 prize. And let's do this. So we'll start with my first segment of the day, which is a case study about newsletter marketing. And as I told you at the outset, we are doing a live building a newsletter from zero, and we've started that last week. Next week's live show is going to be the first time we'll introduce this to you. We'll show you all the details about the newsletter, and then we'll show you how it's going from a profitability standpoint. And you'll just follow along with us in the coming weeks as we grow that newsletter into a profitable new enterprise. And so let's do our, there we go there. I'm getting ready for the segment. I've got my teleprompter lined up. And okay, here we go. So here's the start of our first segment. And for those of you who don't know, when we do these live broadcasts, we're recording content. So I'm actually recording a segment right now. You may hear me talking to my editor or making, doing retakes for certain things, stuff like that. But yeah, so we're going to start that segment now. And this little piece of content will be reused all over my social media and here on the channel. So here we go. I found a newsletter that's making millions, and I'm going to show you how you can make one too. Now, what if I told you that you could build a newsletter that pulls in millions of dollars a year? What if I also told you that you could do this in under 13 months? And that is exactly what Michael Hauk, which I sure hope I pronounce his name correctly, did with his own newsletter. And according to this tweet, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, he started out with a minimal investment and ramped it up. And let's take a look. So there he goes, over $100,000 this month. I started this business 6 months ago. Amazing feeling waking up this morning. There we go. 30 days of revenue from that right there. That is pretty cool. Now, he writes about startups in his newsletter. So these are like tech startups and new companies that are forming up. And I'm going to show you how you could take 5 things. There are 5 specific strategies that he did to grow his newsletter. And then I'm going to show you the 4 different ways that he monetized it. So 5 ways to grow, 4 ways to monetize. And we're going to go through every one of the steps that he did to build this up into a multi-million-dollar business. So let's get into it. Now, first up, let's head back to the chat or the screen. And there was a case study here, which I can share in the chat or share it in the description, which dives into the source that we pulled this case study from. And it's how he built a $1 million newsletter in 13 months. And it goes through the whole thing. That shows his last 30 days of revenue. And it goes into how he, how he pulled this all together. So first up, let's do this. Let's talk about how he actually started and grew his newsletter. And the first thing that he did was collabs. So he collaborated with others, and he gained subscribers for his newsletter by doing cross promotions and collaborations with other newsletters in his space. So he was able to reach out to other newsletters to get a shout out. What he did is he said, hey, can you promote my newsletter for me? And other people would promote his newsletter, drive subscribers with a similar audience over to his brand. Now, it's important that if you want to collaborate with other writers, you have to make sure that there's a lot of overlap between your audiences. So you'd be surprised that there are a lot of newsletters out there, a lot of influencers, a lot of people who have audiences who will be comfortable introducing you to their audience, but you have to make sure that there's a lot of similarity between you and your collaboration partner. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Now, you can pay for a collaboration deal, right? So there are actually platforms you can go to. One of them is SwapStack, where you can go and actually find people that you can pay to promote your newsletter. And let's take a look at that. So here's SwapStack, and SwapStack actually it can help you in a couple of different ways. It can help you monetize your newsletter, so you can actually collect money to promote other people's newsletters, or you can use it as a way to pay as an advertiser to grow your newsletter. So you can actually find other newsletters that have audiences just like the one you want to build a newsletter on, and you just pay to have them send the subscribers, send the traffic to you, and you can start out from nothing and just pay to have other newsletter subscribers promote you. Okay, so that is one powerful way to do that. The other way, if you don't have a budget, you need to get a little bit of results, and your newsletter doesn't have to be that big, but you have to have some subscribers, and then you can do cross promotions where you shout them out and then they shout you out back as a kind of a reciprocal back and forth. You promote them, they promote you, and you guys are basically trading subscribers. This is a powerful and very profitable way to build your list, and it's a win-win for both of you. There's no need to pay when you do that. Now, to get free cross-promo deals like this, it's a numbers game. You'll probably have to reach out to a few dozen influencers just to get one deal, but it's worth it because it's free. Now, growth method number 2. I'm a big fan of this method. I think that giving away valuable stuff, prizes and information and free training, free whatever, just value, anything you could think of that is value, and giving it away for free is an excellent way to build up a strong audience that likes what you're doing. Now, here's what Michael did. So he built a database of useful information. So it's a database that his audience found valuable. And depending on your audience and who you want to have a newsletter with, it's going to change. Maybe it could be a database. It might be a report. It might be a case study, something that your audience finds valuable. Now, he posts this giveaway on Twitter, and he announced this useful database that he could get for free. And all he said is you had to engage with him to get it for free. Now, people engaged with his tweets, they shared his post, and he got in front of more and more and more people. So this is you've probably seen these before on Twitter where you say, share this post and comment to get this free thing, right? That's what he did. Once they share the post, he used a tool like Tweet Hunter. So if you haven't seen Tweet Hunter, you can Google that and look it up. And Tweet Hunter can set up an automatic process where they will auto direct message, and the tool will send out a message with a link to the resource and everyone who commented. Now, in order to get access to his freebie, in this case, it was the database that he created, they have to join his email list, all right? So it's like he posted on Twitter, said, engage with my tweet, reshare it, comment on it, and you'll have a chance to get this thing for free. And then in order to go click and claim it, the person has to register to the newsletter. Now, this is genius because it grows both his Twitter following and his newsletter at the same exact time. It's just brilliant. Now, method number 3. In the early days of the newsletter, Michael started a referral program, and subscribers could get another freebie if they referred somebody else who signed up to his newsletter. and they get their own special referral link. It's like a tell a friend program, right? So tell a friend, and in exchange, you get some free stuff. Another fantastic way to grow your email newsletter. Now, with this strategy, some of the fastest growing startups online have used this tactic to blow up overnight. It takes advantage of what's known as the network effect. Network effects refer to the phenomenon where there's a value of a product or service, and people are willing to share it with their network, which creates like a viral or positive feedback loop where they want to share a free resource with others who then also want to share that free resource with others. And it kind of creates a self-perpetuating, self-reinforcing cycle. Now, in the early days of PayPal, for example, the giant that is now PayPal, they did this. They actually gave you $20 for opening your account. And they also gave the friend who referred you $20. So they would literally give away money to people who referred others. So they would refer somebody, that person would get $20, but the person who referred their friend also got $20. This ultimately drove their first 100 million users this way. That is how they went into explosive overnight growth. On to growth method number 4. This is mergers and acquisitions. Okay? And this may not be what you're thinking, right? You've heard of mergers and acquisitions before, right? Buying and selling companies, essentially. And this one is a little surprising. But one of the ways that he grew his newsletters was by buying a competing newsletter. This is back in July. He bought the newsletter called The Daily Dose of Startups. It was another startup newsletter that had like 2,000 subscribers at the time. And he essentially was able to take those 2,000 subscribers and then just merge them in and add them to his own list. Now, I've seen this opportunity in several places. There are marketplaces, for example, like Flippa, where people will advertise businesses. These businesses often come with newsletter or buyer or subscriber lists that when you buy the company, you buy the website, you get to take their subscribers and merge them in with your own. And then just a few days ago, he had bought another acquisition. So he's done this now twice. This is his second acquisition that he's done in order to grow his list. And I think it's just brilliant. So in fact, there have been businesses that I personally have purchased on Flippa. And the only reason I bought them was so that I could get at the list, take the subscriber list and merge it in with my own. Awesome. Growth method number 5, paid ads. Now, this one, that's pretty obvious, right? Paid ads brings you traffic and brings you subscribers. But for the last 5 months, he's been using paid ads on Twitter and Facebook to get new subscribers to this newsletter. In the beginning, he ran the ads himself. He actually just went on, did a little bit of study to learn how to do it, launched his Facebook and Twitter ads himself. But more recently, now that he's really has a lot of revenue coming in, he actually hired an agency to take over and take that task away from him. And so that is how Michael was able to grow his newsletter. He's now got over 70,000 subscribers, and he has built a multi-million-dollar business. But how's he making money? How is he monetizing this subscriber base? So let's get into it. Monetization method number 1, that is sponsorships. So he charges other brands to take sponsor spots in his newsletter. So his newsletter is sent weekly, and the packages range from $750 all the way up to $7,500 to put a sponsor ad in his newsletter. Not bad, right? $7,500 to hit send on his newsletter. Now, assuming that he's maxing out his ad space, he would get $7,500 in every issue, right? So sponsorships alone, just sponsorships, could bring in $30,000 or more every single month at that rate. Monetization method number 2, that is a paid community. Now, this is something that I'm exploring and I'm going to be testing myself in our newsletter experiment. And he created a paid version of his newsletter. So he's got the free tier where he has his free information that he sends out weekly. But then he also created a paid tier of the newsletter that comes along with a community and community access. So he offered a free 14-day trial of this community. After that, it's $15 a month, or if you prepay, it's $150 a year. Now, you get access to the community that he's got hosted on Circle, as well as he also does digital events and in-person events and other things as well. And his community has a couple of hundred paying members now, and it's growing quickly. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a tweet of his that in it, he says he's adding 5 new paid subscribers. There we go. Per day now. So he's adding up 5 new paying members that are joining, and that is adding up quickly. So each one is producing $15 a month, $100 or $150 a year in revenue. So you could do the math on this and start to see how this adds up quickly. So if you have thousands of people paying you $15 a month for access to the paid version of your newsletter, that's a lot of money. Now, monetization method number 3, and that is coaching. So he also put a link in his newsletter where you can book time with him. So you can go through a booking link and you can pay to reserve time and talk to him. And you can book 30 minutes of his time for $350 or a full hour for $700. So if he manages to book a 30-minute session every day, on average, that's like $10,000 a month for spending 30 minutes a day talking to his subscriber base. That's a lot of profit. Now, that leads us to monetization method number 4, megaphone. So he used this growth trajectory. He was taking off with this newsletter as it was growing and growing, and he used that to launch a brand new venture called Megaphone. Now, Megaphone is a platform. It's something that he created to help creators get more social shares, right? So it's a social media sharing tool. So he built this tool and launched it to his subscriber list. Now that he's got a big audience, he can launch and sell information products, software, tools, whatever it is that he might now want to launch. He's got this built-in audience that he can instantly put it on the market and sell it. I know firsthand how powerful this is. In fact, that is how I launched Push Button AI, was with this exact same method. So he launched his brand new business. He charges $49 a month for this access to this service, and he is doing very well with it. And so having an email newsletter, especially a responsive one who listens to you, reads your emails religiously, and has a relationship with you where they're getting value, that is gold, because you can leverage that to launch entire other businesses. You can leverage it to do networking with others. You can leverage it to continue to grow and profit, and it goes on and on. I know firsthand, I've had my own email newsletter that we broadcast to. In fact, we mail to it almost daily at this point, and I've been doing so for 10 years, actually going over 10 years now. We might be going on 12. I'll have to go back and look at the math, but definitely over 10 years I've been sending daily email newsletter emails to my list, and I can't tell you how many millions upon millions of dollars it has added to our bottom line simply by having this email subscriber base. So I highly recommend you do this. And one of the ways that you can do this is by giving away information products, which is a perfect segue to talk about Push Button AI. In fact, just this week, tomorrow, in fact, we have a live broadcast that we are doing. And so if you are not already a Push Button AI customer, I'm going to show you how you can get an AI to build you an entire business that will get you subscribers for your newsletter. Just like the newsletter business we just talked about and featured of Michael's, Push Button AI can build you an entire newsletter, build you a 12-module training course that is incredibly valuable, and then you can give it away for free in order to get email subscribers to your newsletter. So what I'd like to do is I've got some very important VIPs who want to talk to you about Push Button AI, and I'll let them talk to you for a moment, and we'll be right back.
The presidents, celebrities, or characters in this video are all fake and generated by artificial intelligence.
You know, the other day while I was resting my eyes, I woke up to find that I'd built an entire online business.
Really, Joe? How'd you manage to do that?
Well, you see,
Wait a minute, Sleepy Joe. Let me guess. You had Push Button AI do all the work, didn't you?
That's right, Donald. It found me a fantastic domain name, built out a complete site, set up my shopping cart so I can get paid, and even wrote an entire email sales campaign for me, all while I was napping.
Well, I've been using push button AI too. And believe me, my new business, it's huge. The best. So much winning, you wouldn't believe.
This push button AI sounds phenomenal.
Oh, it is. It's almost as genius as I am.
But with better hair, no doubt.
Guys, all this talk is boring to me. What everyone needs to do is click the link of this video and go to the masterclass to see how to use this powerful technology to build their own profitable online business.
Well, if Elon says it, it must be worth a shot.
You're right, Barry. Everyone should click the link right now.
I can't believe I'm going to agree with Joe, but this masterclass sounds like it's going to be huge. Absolutely terrific. The best masterclass ever given, probably.
Okay, guys, how about we hit that link? Time is money.
Got to enjoy my coffee. All right, so head on over. If you're not already a Push Button AI customer, join me. I'll be tomorrow night. We'll be broadcasting this live presentation. I'll be in the chat, chatting away with you. You can learn all about how you can join our private beta program. Push Button AI is closed to the public, but you can get in the back door. You can learn all about that tomorrow on our live broadcast. And it also includes some training where I'm going to show you the exact most profitable, highest leverage, I guess I'll say, the highest leverage business that you can use AI today to build, launch, and grow your own online business. So join me in the free class. And yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. Now, we got 3 more segments of training to go. And what we're going to do is power through those. And then, of course, I have my giveaway at the end of the broadcast. We have a new video that just released that we're going to be showing to you. And everyone who sticks around and goes and engages with that video is going to have a chance to win some cash, $100. Now, on that, let's move on to the next segment. Here we go. The most important thing that you can do when you're trying to start, grow, and expand your own online business is to be productive. And I know this is not the sexiest thing to say. People love to hear about the latest, newest tactic or strategy or money-making idea or a new way to get traffic to your website. All these kinds of things are very exciting. But truth be told, the thing that really sets you apart, especially early on, is your ability to be productive. Because let's face it, building a business is hard. Despite lots of voices telling you how easy it is, at the end of the day, it takes hard work, dedication, persistence to be able to build the business of your dreams. Now, 21% of workers actually believe they're being productive throughout the whole day. So what does that mean? That means that 80% of them approximately are not productive. They know it themselves. They know in their heart of heart, they are not productive. Now, I consider myself one of the 21%. I pride myself actually on the ability to get a lot of work done on a daily basis consistently, all throughout the day, every day. Now, if I wasn't able to do that, I don't know that I would be as successful as I am today. In fact, I might not be successful at all. I might be working a traditional job somewhere else, not being the entrepreneur that I love so much to be today. Now, because of this, people ask, how do you get so much stuff done? And I'd like to show you. There are actually 6 different things that I'm going to go over with you that help me stay productive all day long. Let's get into it. Productivity hack number 1, no morning ritual. You may have heard of this from guys like Alex Hormozy talks about this, but this is something that I can tell you myself. All these rituals, you heard about rituals where people need to get up and do certain things each morning and follow a particular path and do certain actions in order to be productive. Throw it all out. I know a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners who are into like health hacks, morning rituals, and they have to do these things in order to kick themselves into gear and get things done. Things like cold showers, sauna, meditation, breathing techniques, red light therapy, on and on and on. Now, there's nothing wrong with these things. And in fact, several of them I believe are incredibly useful to your health. But I actually do these things like sauna, for example, in my own life. But the problem is when these are things that you must have, like you have this non-negotiable attitude that if you don't do your red light therapy in the morning, you can't be productive, right? If you have that kind of a mental attitude, it actually harms your productivity. It doesn't help it, it harms it. So you can do all of these healthy things, but don't make it part of a ritual that you have to do. And your time is valuable. If you start putting all these things and trying to cram them into your schedule every day, you could be chewing up the first 45 minutes, the first 2 hours of your day before you actually get any productive work done. So these are things that they're nice to have. So they're beneficial, but you can't make them a requirement in order to get work done. And they get in the way and they actually interfere. And it makes your day-to-day schedule and productivity, it's like too rigid. You're not able to flex and bend and adjust and adapt. So business owners have to adapt. You have to be able to respond to changes in your environment. And if you have to get up in the morning and, as much as I love coffee, it can't be part of my day where I have to have the coffee or I can't be productive. Many days I get out of bed and literally before I can go down to the kitchen, I'm on the phone. I'm already going. And I can't have it be where I have to go get my coffee before I can start my day. And the landscape is changing, so some days you might have to drop out and change things in your schedule. And if you make it be where it's an absolute must have in order for you to feel like you can go through your day, it's just going to sabotage you. So be flexible. You can be healthy. You can have all of the different things that are going to help with your spiritual, your mental, your physical well-being, but don't make them be a must-have activity. Productivity hack number 2, eliminate distractions. Now, I know this sounds simple, right? It sounds sort of a no-brainer, really, but you need to eliminate distractions while working, and it is so important today. Now, I could get 10 times more work done when I'm laser focused. If I've got people around me distracting me, if I've got, this thing right here is the worst distraction of all. I've got an iPad sitting right in front of me over here. I've got the computer over here. I've got Discord over here. I've got Skype over there, maybe Facebook Messenger. If you have all of these things, constantly pulling you in a lot of directions, it really does. Your productivity just drains away. So that's things like listening to podcasts, answering text messages. If you're constantly distracted by your email inbox, you really need to focus. Productivity hack number 3, become unreachable. You'll notice that a couple of these relate to each other. If you become unreachable, you cannot be distracted and you can stay focused. And this is something that I used to be really good at. And over the years, I've let go a little bit, and I'm about to really enforce this back into my schedule, which is that you need to be unavailable. When you need to focus and you need to get work done, and you need to have your productivity at its maximum, you just have to become unreachable. Discord, Slack notifications, phone calls, inboxes, all of this stuff just gets in your way and blocks your momentum. And that momentum of getting, you kind of get yourself into that state, that flow state of just getting stuff done. And when you get pulled away and distracted, it just ruins it. So you will get more done if you can carve 4 hours out of your day. That's half of your workday. Take 4 hours out of your day, use it to do focused work. The other 4, okay, be distracted. You can handle all those other things the other 4 hours of the day. But if you take 4 hours, set them aside, lock them down, and just be unreachable. And you'll be shocked at the insane amount of work you can get done. And I notice the more I get done and the better I feel about the work I'm getting done, it's like a snowball effect. So I get a whole bunch done. Then the next day I feel good about my productivity and I get even more done. And then the next day, even more done. And so it is by having these moments of focus, this deep focus, getting into the zone, getting into a flow state, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, outside distractions pulling your attention away, no matter how small, get rid of that momentum and they pull you out of that state and you just don't get things done. And I find I'm not as creative. I'm not as clever about my solutions. It's just a barrier. Now, it is important to collaborate with your colleagues, right? So you need to have time in order to chit chat and network and talk to your peers, talk to, your staff, your vendors, but definitely set aside and have some of that do not disturb time every single day. Now, productivity hack number 4. This is kind of a tough one. Give yourself less time. You'll find that whatever time you allot and make available during the day, you use it up. So the amount of work you have to do, you will fill up the amount of time you give yourself to do it. It's a very weird phenomenon where if you have a little bit of work to do, but you have 6 hours to do it, you'll take 6 full hours to get just a little bit of work done. If you have a tremendous amount of work to get done and you still only have 6 hours, somehow you'll get it done. And it's just something about that is very interesting and very strange, how whatever the time is, no matter how little or big amount of work you have to do, you will consume that time. So pack yourself full of work. I mean, the worst case is you don't finish everything in your allotted time. So if you have to get everything done in 6 hours, jam yourself full of stuff, even if it's a little bit unrealistic. Worst thing is, a few things will fall off your battle plan and move into the next day's productivity, right? But push yourself to get more done than humanly possible and force yourself to cram it into little windows of time. And you will find out that you get a heck of a lot more done. And again, don't get yourself bummed out and disappointed and upset if you don't get it all done. Just roll it into your next day and then do it again. Cram your 6 hours or 2 hours or 1 hour full of activities, more so than you could possibly accomplish, and just try to do it anyway. Productivity hack number 5. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs mess this one up. You've got to have quality sleep. I can't tell you how important that is. I can't stress it enough. Now, I think a lot of people get into a mode where they stay up late for various reasons. It could be consuming entertainment. It could be hanging out with friends. It could be that you work too much and you're trying to be productive. So you work a lot of hours and you go to bed really late, right? Or you get up too early in the morning or whatever it might be. But it's night and day difference when you just get enough sleep. Don't overcomplicate this. It's very simple. Just get enough sleep. Even that half an hour or hour difference of just getting that extra little bit of sleep works really, really well. Now, if you're struggling with getting enough sleep, first, you can just get rid of caffeine after 3 o'clock, okay? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, stop drinking caffeine. If you're still having a problem, cut back caffeine even more. Caffeine can mess up your sleep. Lucky for me, it's not a problem for me. I can actually consume caffeine quite late and still get to bed and still get a good night's sleep. But that's not for everyone. Some people need to cut it out in order to get good sleep. Now, magnesium. This is something that a lot of people are deficient in. Of course, I'm not a medical doctor. I can't diagnose you, but I've found that the modern diet seems to be very deficient in magnesium. And things like, they call it CalMag. You'll find different mixtures of calcium and magnesium drinks that you can usually pour into water. There's a few different ones. There's one by Nutrina that I take, but even just a simple magnesium supplement can help. But take it before bed. So magnesium before bed can make a massive difference in your sleep. The other thing is exercise. If you're not exercising, you really need to get that into your routine. I make sure that I'm in the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Even if I hate it, I don't want to do it, I go anyway. Even if I do a shortened workout and just work out for 20, 30 minutes, I just got to get myself to do it, got to get myself to stay active. It's just too easy today to sit on your darn chair all day long or on the couch when you get home and you're tired and you're not doing any activity, and it's going to ruin your sleep. So the other thing, the obvious one, is to also limit screen exposure at bedtime. So you'll find there are different modes you can put your phone into: dark mode to change the nature of the light, to dim the lights, to change the color of the light, things like that. That helps, but try to eliminate light from devices late in the evening. And that also messes up your circadian rhythm and can mess up your sleep patterns. Another thing that I do is every day when I wake up, and this, depending on where you are in the world, this may be easier or harder, but I make sure I get some sun exposure. Even if it's a little cold outside, I get up in the morning and I do try to expose my eyes to sunlight, try to expose my skin to sunlight, even just for a little bit. And that helps quite a lot. It seems to do something to set off. Again, it's like getting that circadian rhythm going and the timing right in your body. Okay, productivity hack number 6. This is the final one. And that is something quite simple. And several of the things I've talked about so far can be kind of condensed into this one thing. And that is, do what you're doing when you're doing it. What the heck does that mean? This means multitasking in times when you have to get stuff done. You're under a deadline, you're under pressure, and you got to get stuff done. And you're multitasking and handling, whatever it might be that you're trying to get done all at the same time. And I'm guilty of this. I'm really guilty of, I might be consuming a piece of content. I might be text messaging someone. I might be Discording someone, all while I'm trying to get a sales funnel complete, launched. And this really, really messes me up. And I have to have a lot of discipline myself personally to do this last hack. And that requires that I stay focused and I do what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I don't multitask. I'm present in the moment. I'm very intentional and methodical about what I'm trying to get done. But that actually can lead to kind of a day that's kind of a bummer. If you're just hyper-focused and just a productivity machine all day long, you can burn out. So I intentionally waste time. So rather than wasting time on accident, quote unquote accident, where you might be, maybe you're consuming a YouTube video, or maybe, you're browsing through social media, or you're sipping a coffee staring at the sky. I don't know. But if you're doing these things unintentionally, just sort of kind of doing them, it's not as good as I will intentionally decide I'm going to go waste time. I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to do absolutely nothing. And I'm going to go stare at the mountain, look at the sky, watch a YouTube video, chit chat with my wife, whatever it might be. But I'm intentionally doing it. I'm not sort of doing it while I'm sort of doing something else. I'm doing exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it with full 100% focus. So waste time intentionally, on purpose. Schedule some time wasting in your day and be present in the moment. So your intention is in and you're focused on what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, but also you can waste time with purpose, okay? And the other thing is, just don't consume media. It's so easy today with these devices to be consuming media of all kinds when we don't need to. And that makes us not present in the moment. And when we're not present in the moment, we don't do a good job in our communication with others. We don't do a good job of being productive, being focused, and getting things done. So there you go. That's the way I strive to stay productive throughout my day. And again, these things are things you have to work at. And still to this day, I work at these things daily to kind of live and embody these principles. And there's plenty of days where I let some of them slip out and, maybe watch too many videos or mess around on social media too much. In fact, I've completely uninstalled a few social media apps from my phone because of that very reason. Like, I just keep finding myself wasting too much time. And so I will change my environment and change my, what's happening around me so that I can focus on these six things and get them done. Because let's face it, the freedom that comes from a successful business is worth it. So what if you have to do these 6 things and focus and get a lot done and maybe even have that extra pressure to perform? That's completely worth it when it comes to the value you get from your successful business and the freedom that it will give you. All right, so that is that segment. And my phone won't stop ringing. So let's see talking about doing what you're doing when you're doing it, right? So let me just make sure that there's no urgent. No, that is not urgent. That's a bunch of spam callers. Just making sure that I didn't have some family member trying to reach me persistently. All right. Now we're moving on to the next segment. Here we go. I found that there are 6 books that you absolutely must read or at least have in your library if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. And I think it's extremely important for entrepreneurs and business owners to be educated on the topic of marketing. Now, marketing is the thing. Marketing and sales really combined are the things that drive the energy into your business. And without them, your business will never grow. It will die. And so you need to take your education on this topic seriously. And you're a lot more likely to make sales and have your business expand if you read the 6 books that I'm going to recommend. And the thing is, it can be confusing to do marketing. There are so many books, so many courses, so many articles out there, blog posts, videos, and often many of them contradict one another. And it can be overwhelming. Thankfully, if you read the 6 books I'm going to show you and you embrace the principles that you will learn in these 6 books, all the other stuff will become noise. You'll be able to easily spot what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And when you see advice that you get that contradicts one another, you'll have the basis to be able to understand and know what advice you should follow and what you shouldn't. But it's these basic concepts that are underlying marketing and sales and persuasion and driving revenue. When you have some basic understanding, you can actually get a heck of a lot more done rather than jumping from tactic to tactic, not knowing if it's going to be effective because you don't know your basics. So let's get started. Book number 1. That is right here. Influence. You've probably heard me talk about this a few times. It's actually a book a lot of people recommend. And it's the first book on this list. And I believe that every entrepreneur should read Influence. It's Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. And the author is Robert, and I've heard his name pronounced so many different ways, but Cialdini, I think is how you pronounce it. This book is essential. Now, why is it essential? Because whether you're trying to win new investors, you're trying to convince people to buy your product, you're trying to convince your staff to do particular things in your business, maybe you're trying to convince people to follow you in social media, you need to understand how persuasion works. And he breaks it down into an understandable bite size. You'll see different aspects of persuasion and what it takes to persuade others to get the things that you want and to get them to do the things that you want. And when you finish this book, you will understand those principles and be able to apply them in your life in many, many different ways. So there are a lot of phrases that come from this book. So the book Influence, there's in the marketing, especially in the internet marketing world, you'll hear phrases like social proof. Have you ever heard of that phrase before? It comes from that book. So there are other principles where they talk about how to use things like social proof to actually get people to do what you want them to do in buying your stuff and signing up for offers and things like that. Now, the next book is an interesting one. This is actually a really interesting book. It's called Predictably Irrational. So in Predictably Irrational, you'll find that what you think is happening when things are selling, when you put an offer on the market, you put an ad out there, or you put a sales page up and people are buying your stuff or signing up for your things. And you think, logically, you know why. Why are my customers buying that? Or maybe you're putting out a sales message that you can't figure out, why are they not buying that? This is an amazing product. The price is low. Like it's got everything they need. They're not buying it. Why? Well, that's because most of what drives humans to buy things and to consume things and drives their behavior is subconscious. And this book will really open your eyes to that. And sometimes it's shocking, unexpected. You would not believe some of the things that influence my thinking, your thinking, and your customers' thinking. And in Predictably Irrational, it really opened my eyes to being able to understand why customers behave like they do. Why do they not buy certain things? Why do they buy other things? And it's all the subconscious stuff going on that you'll never be aware of, but you got to read that book and find out. Now, Of course, we all like to think that we're 100% logical creatures, right? I would like to think that I am all logic, right? I do everything with, in a conscious, intentional, methodical method. Just not true. So I know even in some of the biggest purchase I make in my business, signing up for products and services, it could be $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. I've looked back and there's been a few of them that I can see were emotional decisions. They were not logical. They were not rational. But nonetheless, they influenced, a large buying decision, and it's everywhere. And so you'll find out all about what these things are and how you can. I want to be careful how I say this, because when you understand these principles, you can utilize them combined with persuasion from the earlier book to get people to do what you want. And I don't mean this in some sort of sneaky, underhanded, unethical way, because if you've got a great product or service, you want to convince and get people to buy it. So why not use every tool in your arsenal at your disposal to do it, both logical and also subconscious? And that book will help unlock that in you so you understand those principles. Okay. So now we'll move on to the next book. Let's get my note for editor. You can delete a little bit of this silence here. Okay, cool. All right. My next book is one that you'll hear a lot of marketers talking about. And this is something from Alex Hormozy, $100 million offers. He also just recently launched $100 million leads. And I have the $100 million leads, but it's actually just sitting on my shelf. I actually need to read it, but I've read this one. And this actually is another thing where it's a concept about how you build an offer and a business in a way that can generate a lot of cash flow. And he goes into how he built a $100 million business without a bunch of funding, without outside investors, and how he did it off of cash flow. Yeah, which is incredibly impressive. Anyway, a lot of people recommend that one, but that's on my list as well. And basically the offer in your business, what it is you're selling and what is your core offer of the value in exchange for money that you're offering into your business sets the pace for almost everything else. That offer determines how your marketing is going to work. That offer determines how your sales are going to work. The offer determines how your fulfillment, delivery, support, and all the rest are going to go in your business. So structure that offer, that package of services, products, information, whatever it might be, and how it's sold and the way it's priced and the way it's bundled. Think about that in a very methodical way. And I would recommend you check out the $100 million offers for a whole different insight on how to do that and create a grand slam offer, right? And with the grand slam offer, you actually can build a business that you can retire on. And look at him. He sold that business. He built it up, turned it into a powerhouse, and exited for millions and millions and millions of dollars in cash. And he got to go on to doing some other things that he enjoys in life. So I highly recommend the book. Check it out. And you'll learn all about how to craft an offer. Okay. Now the next book, I don't have it on my shelf back here to show you. And it's one that's a little bit hard to get a hold of. In fact, you often will have to go to eBay of all places to find this book. And it is Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. Now, this is a timeless classic. It was written back in 1966, and it is really a Bible for many marketers and copywriters, and especially people that are doing lots of paid advertising. Now, and don't let the age of the book fool you. The principles are as relevant today as the day they were published. So in it, you'll find out exactly how to look at your market. How do I try to describe this? You break down your market into buckets, and you can categorize them into buckets. And you'll find that people are in different states of awareness when it comes to the problem that your product solves. Are they aware of that problem? Are they aware of there are products that exist to solve that problem? Right? Are they aware that your product solves this problem? And it's all about how you break your audience and your market down into these buckets. And based on what you learn from that exercise, you radically change the way you communicate and the way you do your marketing. Okay. So I highly recommend this. And some of the data that you can learn in there goes into writing headlines, writing ads, writing sales letters. It goes into emotional triggers. Like, what are the emotional subconscious triggers that trigger our buying behavior? And he digs into the psychology behind why people buy things, both rational and irrational, all kind of rolled into one. It's a really great read. Especially again, if you're spending any significant amount of money on advertising, you just got to know this data. And so you can look it up, Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. Now, book number 5, right here, How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. I recommend this one. And this goes into, it says the 88 steps that get rich and find success. And some of the things that he goes into in the book are a little unexpected. And it's not a traditional marketing book, but it's awesome. It's an awesome book. It's for every entrepreneur out there. And it goes into no nonsense, I would say kind of ruthless advice about how to build a successful business and how to turn it into something that you can count on and that makes you money in the short and long term. And in the book, he argues that one of the barriers to becoming rich is your mindset. He focuses quite a lot on that the reason you don't become rich and the reason you don't achieve the goals that you want to achieve are purely mindset. He dives into how important it is to take risks. I think so many people are averse. They're scared of taking the right risks. There are bad risks, and there are the risks that you've got to take to get ahead in business. And it's being able to determine when is the right time to take a big risk and go all in on something. And that can make a huge difference. Now, I don't want to spoil the book. There's a lot of stuff in the book. You can read that one yourself, but it's How to Get Rich. And go out, read it, and let me know what you get out of that book. It's an unexpected read. And then the other book, I loaned it out. In fact, I think I loaned it out to producer Nick, who's out there on mic. Producer Nick, who's in the chat and on mic. Are you out there?
Yeah, hello?
Yes. So where is my book? You know the one I'm talking about?
I do. I tried looking for it. I couldn't find it. So it's in my shelf or in a storage locker or who knows where.
Okay. That is the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. It's by, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Al Rice and Jack Trout, but now what does it mean by immutable, right? Because it's unchanging. They're laws, these are like laws of the universe when it comes to marketing. They don't change. They're universal. It doesn't matter how technologically advanced the world is. It doesn't matter about AI. These 22 laws are unchanging, and you need to know them. And when it comes to money making, when it comes to marketing and getting people to buy your products and services, they're law. Think of it like the 10 Commandments, right? It's the 10 Commandments of marketing. And it's the Holy Scripture, so to speak, that you should know in order to have success in your selling and marketing and bringing in money into your business. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a new venture, you absolutely must know the information in this book. And you're going to learn all about how things like perception, the way you perceive something, how does that play into your success as a marketer? It's not just about your perception either. It's how the audience perceives you. It's a two-way phenomenon. But anyway, so the book goes into great detail on this topic, and it outlines exactly how to position your brand, you, in the minds of consumers or businesses and you need to stand out in the crowd. This is how you do it. So there we go. Was that book 6? I think that was book 6. So that's the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And it will bring you back to the roots and principles of how marketing works, why marketing works, why do people buy things. And that's pretty darn important if we're going to try to make money, right? All right, so that is it for my book list. That is the 6 essential books that you should have in your library, unless you have misplaced them or somebody borrowed them. So I'm good. I've got 4 out of the 6. So does that mean I'm good? Technically, I own them all, but 2 of them are missing in action. All right. So that was our 3rd segment today. And asking a question about book 5 and 6. So 5 and 6. So was the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And there we go. I see someone popping that into the chat. And how to get rich. Okay. So I'll recap them real quick. Influence, Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Predictively Irrational by Dan O'Reilly. Oh, this was how to make money. Sorry, it's not how to get rich. He's got another one, but $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. Then we have from Eugene Schwartz, which is Breakthrough Advertising, and then the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. All right, fantastic. Well, then we're going to do, let's see what time it is. Okay, I have a meeting in 24 minutes, so we're going to cram our final segment into the show and get to it. All right. So earlier, I showed an infinite zoom video ad, and I'm going to show that again real quick so you can see it. And then we're going to talk about how we created it. So let me just get this queued up here. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. That's the one. Okay.
Tried and failed at building an online business, or you've got no idea.
Okay, here, stand by while I fiddle with this and get it ready. And we're going to do the 4th and final segment. And then I'm going to do Q&A. I have a limited time, but we're going to answer as many questions as we can in the time we've got left. And we're going to get to it. So, yeah, if you have questions about any of the topics we've covered today or any questions at all you want to ask me, you can ask those in the chat. We're going to do some Q&A at the end. We'll have a very limited amount of time. So if you get your questions in now, that way I can try to get through them and not miss them. But let's get into our 4th and final segment. Here we go. To infinity and beyond. That is how we're making money today with AI, because I'm using AI right now to create really interesting, engaging video ads and video for social posts. And one that's working really, really well right now is the infinite zoom or infinite scroll ad. And you may have seen these. You've probably seen examples of these floating around in social media. I'd like to show you one in just a moment for our very own push button AI product. But these are crushing it for us. So I want to show you the exact style and type of ad I'm talking about, the type of video this is. We'll talk about how you can use this in ads in places like Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all the places out there. TikTok, sorry, I forgot, left that one out, and many others. You can use these video ads created by AI, and you do not, I repeat, do not need to be some sort of expert, a technical whiz. You don't need to know anything about how to produce video. They're very simple to do because AI does the hard stuff for you. So we'll show you how we made our ad and how it's working for us. And so first up, I'm going to show the ad right now.
If you have tried and failed at building an online business, or you've got no idea where to start, there is good news for you. We are entering a new exciting era of AI, and I'm here to teach you how to use it to build and grow an online business. Because I'm handing you a blueprint, a business in a box powered by AI, and it's called Push Button AI. Imagine a tool so smart it does all the heavy lifting for you. Builds an info product business, sets up hosting, launches the website, and even crafts engaging email sequences. Here's the thing. This isn't like anything else out there, and this is based on what's working right now. Push Button AI is based on my experience of generating over $100 million over the last 20 years and helping over 81,942 customers build and grow their own online businesses. If you'd like to find out more about this, register now and dive into my free live demo to uncover strategies and traffic tricks that will pivot your business and skyrocket your online business from surviving to thriving. Imagine what your life would look like today if you bought Bitcoin when it was $1. You now have the same opportunity with push-button AI since nobody else is doing this. Don't miss out this time.
Pretty cool. So it's a weird looking video, and it just infinitely scrolls out as you see the background unfolding behind you with, in this case, for our product, what we did is had a bunch of humans combined with robots and androids figuring out how to make money together, right? And then we just scrolled through infinitely. And this is quite easy to do. We're using a combination of tools. We use a tool called 11 Labs for our audio. We're using a tool called Suno to make our music, the background music that you hear. And then we use a tool called Midjourney to create our images. And finally, there's a tool that pulls it all together into one single ad. It's called Runway. So those are the tools we're using in combination. I will walk through and show you these tools on my screen in just a moment. They're very, very easy to use. In fact, to generate the quality audio like you heard on there, you literally just copy and paste your script. And if you don't know how to write a script, you can go to ChatGPT and ask it to write your script for you. So you write your script, you pop it into 11 Labs, and you generate your audio. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is you can use a tool called Suno to make music to use in your ad. And I'll show you that as well. And then once you've got your music and you have your talking, then you head on over to Midjourney. And I'm going to show all of these steps on the screen. And you create a series of images. In that ad that you just saw, we created 9 images, right? So there we go. there, 9. There you go. So we created 9 images, and those were done by Midjourney. So we just simply put a simple prompt in. I'll show you how to do it. And then we go over to Runway at runwayml.com, and you literally just upload all this stuff into Runway and generate your video. And these things do not take specialized video production knowledge. You don't need to know how to be an artist, how to be a video person, an audio engineer, any of this stuff. Any person who can, if you can answer email on your computer or on your phone, you can do this. All right. So let's walk through, and I'm going to get into the steps. Let's see here. I'm going to get this set up for a moment. 11 Labs, then all right, let me just get these. So note for editor, you can edit this little bit out of the broadcast. So we got Suno, we got, there we go. Let's do Midjourney. And Runway, there we go. Okay, so we're going to do a little demo of this, and I'll show you all the steps and how I did them in there now. So let's see, where is, okay, where is, here we go. There we are. Okay, cool. So first up is 11 Labs. And with 11 Labs, you can just paste in your script and it will generate the audio for you right here. And looks like there's a demo showing on their homepage right now. Okay, and then you can choose a voice. Here we'll choose Charlie.
Hello, I'm Bill. This is my script.
See, sounds fantastic, right? And can change, there we go.
Hello, I'm Bill. This is my script.
So you create your audio here and you paste your script in and you can download the audio from 11 Labs. Now, I recommend you get it. They have this little demo right here that allows you to log in, but sign up. It's actually fairly inexpensive. So as you can see here, $1, as little as $1 a month to use 11 Labs. And that's how you get your audio. And as I said, if you need to, you can head on over to ChatGPT. If you have ChatGPT, and we could just ask it to generate our script for us. And you could say, you know, you are an expert marketer. Write a script for a 1-minute ad. And then you could describe what your products and services are and why. You could say, be sure to tell them to click the link at the end of the ad. Okay. A 1-minute ad about teaching people how to play the guitar training program. Here we go. So a prompt as simple as that, and it'll write a script for you. Okay. And oh, this is doing wow, it's it's mapping out an entire here. I'm going to tell it, please just write the voice over script, nothing else. There we go. So now it's writing the script. So we would take that script and we could use that, popping it over into 11 Labs, and then away we go. Okay. Next up is an app called Suno, and Suno generates music, and it creates some pretty interesting music. And there are a variety of other tools, and you can go to suno.ai to learn more about this. It's very simple to create music. There's also a tool from Google that will generate music for you, and a whole lot more. But you have a lot of options, and just generate some audio tracks. Or you can, if you want to pay for some, you could find some in a stock audio library and pay for it there as well. So once we have that, you head on over to Midjourney. So at midjourney.com, you can learn about signing up as an example. And to use Midjourney, we actually chat with it. And so you can see here is an example of us chatting with it. And the process for doing these infinite zoom ads is quite simple. Okay. All you have to do is ask it to create an image. And so let's say in that example, we want image of guitar teachers teaching students how to play guitar. And when we do this, oh, I forgot, we actually have to do /imagine, and we're going to put our prompt in there. We're going to have it generated there. And so it's actually going to create this image, and we're going to create a series of 9 different images, and I'll show you how it's done. And of course, it takes a minute here for it to generate this one. And it's here we have different students. So we're going to pull together what the parts that we would use for one of these guitar ads. All right, so let's start. Let's try. We're going to take the bottom version. When you're looking at these, we have version 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so version 3, I'm going to start with it. So we're going to upscale it, it's called. So we're going to click U3, and it's now going to generate that image. Okay. So, and you can play around with this until you get the image that you like. Just keep messing around with it until you find your original source image. And this is actually going to be the beginning. It's going to start from this image and start zooming out. Okay. And then all we have to do now, so there's our image right there. And we hit zoom out 2 times. Now it's going to zoom out. And it's going to create the next image. So this becomes image 1 for the start of our video. And then the one that's going to generate down here will be image 2 in our video. And we're just waiting for it to start. There we go. So we're going to let it go through this for a minute, and I'll come on screen. So essentially what we will do is we will just keep zooming out. So we just tell it again, now zoom out 2 times more, zoom out 2 times more, 2 times more, until you have generated at least 9 of these. And then we're going to take these images and transform them into a video. And that process is actually quite simple. So what ends up happening is, if you think about this, each time it zooms, each image is zoomed out 2 times. Okay. So we show the image and we're zoomed into it. And then we zoom out and then we replace the next image, and then zoom out and put the next image and zoom out. And it's by stacking these together on the timeline, which I'll show you in Runway, is how you create that effect of this infinite zoom. Here, I'll show you back on the screen. So it has zoomed out, and I'm going to go with version 2. So we're going to upscale 2. And then we just keep doing this process. So there's version 2, and now we're going to zoom out 2 times. And so rather than making you stare at that while it keeps going. So that's what we do. That's the process. You just zoom out 2 times, find the image that you know looks the best, zoom out 2 times, zoom out 2 times. You do it over and over until you have 9 different images. Now we're going to take our 9 images. We're going to take our audio from 11 Labs and our music from Suno, and we're going to put it all together in Runway. And let me show you that. So rather than going through generating 9 more images, which would be very boring to watch, let's just jump ahead and we'll go into Runway. Okay, so Runway here is a really, really powerful video editing tool. And you've seen me use it quite a lot on earlier trainings, and we use it for a lot of different things. And so I'm going to, here, let me pull this off screen and log in. Just give me 1 second. Okay, great. And here, I'll actually show you the project. There we go. So this is the project right here. And it's quite simple to do. So the first thing that you do is you just drag and drop your stuff into this timeline. So you can see here we have dragged and dropped. Here's the 11 Labs voiceover. You can see that right here. So we took the file, and you literally just open up, you open up your computer where you have downloaded the files, and you literally drag and drop them just like that. And so you'll drag and drop your audio, you'll drag and drop your music, and then you can click on them and adjust them. So, for example, what we'll do is we'll click on the audio, and you can see here we adjusted the volume. So when you click it, you notice on the right side there are properties for it. So you want to click it and then lower the volume of your music, for example. And here we've lowered it down to only 22%. And then here you can see the volume of our speech is 100% because we want our music quiet and in the background. So you just click it and you adjust your volume to how you like it. And you can see here as we play it.
If you have tried and failed at building an online business, or you've got no idea where...
See, so if we thought the audio was too loud, we can drag this little slider up and down. We can make it even quieter.
Where to start, there is good news for you.
Now you can barely hear the music.
We are entering a new exciting era of AI.
So, and here, let's go put it back. Let's see, it was 22. I'll just type it in, okay? So, and then we get our audio levels right, okay? And the next thing is we're going to drag and drop our images in. So you can see each one of these blocks here is an image. And those were the 9 images that we got from Midjourney. We drag them and drop them on here, okay? And then you can set controls for each one. When you drag and drop it in here, you can set a zoom. And you can see here, if we go here, if we click on this zoom, we can see that how the size that we start our image at and the size that we end at, okay? And in this case, I knew the video that I was making was going to be 1280 wide by 720 tall. That is a standard definition, widescreen video ad. And so you'll notice we have it where it's zoomed in and then it zooms out to 100%. Does that make sense? And then here, if we go back to the timeline, that's all we do over and over again. We're starting zoomed in. So we've doubled the size of the image and then we zoom out to 100%. Then we start at double the size of the image and we zoom back to 100%. That's all it's doing each time. So you can see it as I'm scrolling through. Each one of these is a different image. So we zoom in on the image 200%. We've doubled the size and we zoom out to 100. Zoom in 200, zoom out 100. And we just do that over and over and over and over again. Now, the final thing is you're going to want, you probably are going to want captions. Like you can see the words at the bottom of the screen.
If you have tried and failed at building an online business or you've got no idea where to start.
So Runway does that too. So you can just click on your text-to-speech right here. Click on subtitles and it will automatically create your subtitles for you. And you can edit them. You'll notice here, just with one click, boom, it'll take a couple of seconds and it will create all of your subtitles. You can see here, you can come in here and edit them. Each one of these is the separate subtitles that show up on the timeline. All done automatic. So this is all powered by AI, does all of this stuff. So, and then we export the project right here. I'm off the screen. The top right, you export your project, and that's going to be your finished video. You just download the finished video. And so those are the steps to make an ad like the one that you saw that I showed you there. And we are finding that these ads are actually working really, really well because they're attention grabbing, right? The first purpose of an ad is to just grab a person's attention and get them to click, right? You want them just get the right person's attention, your target market, grab their attention, get them interested enough in what you have to offer so they click. And these ads do a fantastic job of that. And so that's how you make them. And since we're here with the live audience, is there anything about this process that you have questions about? Do any of you have questions about how you make these kinds of ads? We'll do a quick round of Q&A with the live audience on this exact topic. And we'll find out if you guys have any confusions, you need any clarifications, you need any extra information in order to be able to make these ads. So I can recap the process or dive into it a little more. Just let me know what those who are here with me live, if you had any questions about that. And producer Nick, do we have any people that were confused or had questions about this process?
No, I don't see that.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, if there are no questions, then
well, I do see a question that maybe you could help with.
Yeah.
So we had a question. It was how this is on the Mid-Journey step when you were making the pictures in Mid-Journey. It was how did you? Let me read this. How did you prompt to keep the center area clear in the 8 images?
So how did I say that once more?
So how did you prompt to keep the center area clear in the 8 images?
Well, you don't have to do anything different, right? So what I did is when I go to Mid-Journey, I prompt it for what I want it to show up. And then I just keep zooming out. That's it. There was no other guidance that I did. And sometimes I would find you might want to spend a little bit of extra time on that very first image. So it kind of represents what you want, because as it zooms out, what it will do is it will just kind of start to fill in the gaps. So as it zooms out, like I would expect that if I kept zooming out, it would add more guitar players, more students, and just like turning into a never-ending audience that was just growing and growing of students and guitar players. And that's really it. That's the simplicity of the prompt, you know.
Well, so we have a suggestion saying,
yes,
would love to see a video of you and Nick creating one of these ads.
Oh yeah. Well, we have to create. So one of the things we have to do this week, Nick, is create some new show intros. So we could do that. We do a behind the scenes of how we make our show intros.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. And cool. Oh, also, I see Troy made a suggestion that brings up. There are different size video ads depending on what you're trying to do. Okay. So one of the things that you can do with Midjourney is control whether it's a square, whether it's wide, like a wide angle. It's called 16:9 is the aspect ratio, like how wide versus how tall it is. And depending upon where you're advertising, you may want different size videos. So as an example, a common practice for Instagram is to do a square ad. That's something that can work really well on Instagram. Also, I think TikTok, there's square media on TikTok as well, right?
No, actually, not really.
Okay,
it's like the mobile resolution. I don't know. I don't know like the mobile aspect ratio at the top of my head, but if it's not that on TikTok, it doesn't do well.
But the standard is what was recommended by Troy, which is 16:9. So in Midjourney, to control that, the Midjourney has a lot of special commands. And to do those commands, you just do dash, and then there's like special commands. And in this case, to get a wide screen, like a typical wide aspect video, it's dash. Is it AR? Is that aspect ratio?
Yes.
And then it's 16:9. So that's what you, and also you could try to do video tall, and it's this the other way around, 9:16. You want to make sure that you think about that before you start prompting and generating your images on what, if you want widescreen, if you want tall, if you want square, and then make sure that you, when you're generating your videos, you work that into your prompt with Midjourney.
Yeah. And then Gerald wanted to know, can the voiceovers that you made in 11 Labs, can they be different languages?
Sure.
Yeah, they support a lot of different languages. They don't have everything because it's a newer tool, but they're adding things almost every week. I think they have like 36 languages right now.
Yeah. So yeah, you could definitely do other languages. You don't have to do just English.
And then Eldon wants to know, when you're zooming out and you're coming out on Midjourney, he wants to know, do you ask Midjourney to put the people on each side?
No, you just simply zoom out, and and what I'm finding is it will do that for you without any additional prompting. You just keep zooming out and zooming out and zooming out, and the filling in of the people and the backgrounds, it does it automatically.
Sure. Eldon wants to know, in the future, could we get data on the different aspect ratios that are optimal for the different social media sites?
Yeah, we could do that. And one of the things that occurred to me, Nick, is, Midjourney is super useful for images, but we haven't really talked about some of the advanced commands that there are in Midjourney, like the aspect ratio command. There's also a command called chaos. There's also a style command. There's a lot of advanced Midjourney commands. Maybe we could do a show covering those. What do you think? Or at least a segment. Yeah.
Yeah, like a supplement to our first training. That was like the foundations.
Yeah. Would you guys like? Let me know in the chat. Would you guys like to hear some training on like a little bit more advanced stuff on Midjourney? We can go into all the different advanced commands and things that you can do with Midjourney to control the prompting and output of the images. We could do that if there's enough interest in that. So let us know in the chat if you guys would like that, and then we'll queue that up for a future show.
And that Troy's talking about, and I know what he's talking about. It's an interesting trick. So there's another trick you can try with Midjourney if you want to control what it zooms out to, is to change the prompt when you zoom it out.
I haven't tried that. I was worried that it would alter the center image. So I actually never. I was afraid to try that, but
It only changes the new content added from zooming out.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in a rush and I didn't have time to experiment. So I just zoomed out without changing the prompt at all. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. So if you want to be in control of what the zoom out is going to, rather than leaving it up to Midjourney, yeah, you just change the prompt.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're up to date. I think we're caught up with all the questions.
All right, cool. Well, a couple of things I want to remind everybody in just a moment. We're going to wrap up, but don't go yet, because we have our engagement contest. We're going to continue on with the next round of our engagement contest. We had one of our winners that we announced at the beginning of the show who won $100 this week. We're going to give out another $100 prize for the person who engages with the video that we're about to share with you in the chat. So we're going to share with you a video we just recently posted in our chat. We'll share that link with you. And those of you who got to go watch it to the end, got to watch the whole thing, engage, comment, interact with that video. And one of you who comment on that video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel and all of that good stuff, and one of you will win another $100 cash prize. And so, yeah, that is, we're going to do that in just a moment. We'll be giving out that link. So stick around for your shot to be part of the prizes on the engagement contest. And any other questions before we wrap things up today?
Blake is reminding us on doing that Discord deep dive, which is still, yeah, we are working on that. That's going to come out.
Oh, Discord. Yeah.
And then, another question.
Oh, that's right. We had a lot of interest in that. Let's do a Discord and a Midjourney deep dive.
Yeah. So we're working on that. And then another question on that idea with the push button AI Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
And just curious, this person's curious if we're still doing that.
I am not sure. We may do something with a Discord server related to our newsletter that you'll start to hear about next week. So stay tuned for more information about that. That may be related to something we do with our newsletter. Yeah. And finally, those of you who would like to join me on our masterclass. So tomorrow we have a presentation that happens at 5 Pacific. We'll be doing it live. You'll have me and the team in the chat. And we have this presentation that we'll be doing that we're going to be covering the single best business model today to use AI to make profits. So if you'd like to use AI to make profit online, I'm going to show you the single best business model to do it with. Then I'm going to show you how push button AI will literally build that business for you at the press of a button. That masterclass is at pushbutton.ai/free class. It's where you can sign up for that. It literally is live tomorrow, so you need to go register for that. And yeah, I think, Nick, is there any other final questions? Are we good?
I think. One last question. It was book 5. They wanted to know, was that how to get rich or how to get money?
Yeah, sorry. It's how to get money. I think the other book he has is how to get rich, I believe.
Yeah, he has 2 books.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, on that note, Nick, could you share the link and make sure it's got the whole HTTPS, the whole thing, to the playlist with that with our next video, so everyone has a shot at the $100.
Of course. Let me put that in there for you.
Cool. So then we'll pop that into the chat so you guys can all head over there, watch that video, watch it to the end, then drop a comment. The longer you watch it, the more it helps our channel. Like we have this new baby little channel we're nurturing, trying to grow it into a bigger channel. And we would love to have the engagement, and we would love that if you watch all the way to the end. It helps please the YouTube gods. So they'll then recommend that video to others, and we can grow our channel. And yeah, do you have that link, Nick?
I'm just going to have to give you the link as a video because when I try it, the playlist isn't working.
Okay, let me here. Which playlist is it in?
The AI business playlist.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Well, let's see.
It's at the very bottom, and it won't let me move it to the
I'm Bill
top.
McIntosh. I am your host, and today we're okay. Is that how to make faceless YouTube video channels?
No, it's how to learn anything with ChatGPT. And it's not letting me put it to the top of the playlist.
Okay. Okay. I am going to just. I don't even see AI video content is so. All right. Well, I'm going to put my own video in there. Then we'll use it. Push button AI can create all of those things. Okay. I'm putting a video in there now. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to, yeah, I don't know how to get to this link, Nick. So.
Okay, well, it's the last video on the channel. It was uploaded, I think, like 30 minutes ago.
Okay, well, I'm trying to find it so I can put it in the playlist. There it is. Okay. My single most successful time. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to put it in there right now. Oh, how do I delete that? Okay. Here we go. I finally got the link in there. So head on over there. Hopefully that is a clickable link for everyone. And yeah, so we'll do a $100 prize. Our engagement contest starts now. And there we have it. Let's I will share a little video here, and we'll let you go engage.
You can now launch your own online business with the click of a mouse. Sounds crazy, right? Guess what? It's now possible thanks to our game-changing AI software that's helping beginners build a successful online business. If you have tried and failed at building an online business or you've got no idea where to start, there is good news for you. We are entering a new exciting era of AI. And I'm here to teach you how to use it to build and grow an online business. Because I'm handing you a blueprint, a business in a box powered by AI, and it's called Push Button AI. Imagine a tool so smart it does all the heavy lifting for you. Builds an info product business, sets up hosting, launches the website, and even crafts engaging email sequences. Here's the thing. This isn't like anything else out there, and this is based on what's working right now. Push Button AI is based on my experience of generating over $100 million over the last 20 years and helping over 81,942 customers build and grow their own online businesses. If you'd like to find out more about this, register now and dive into my free live demo to uncover strategies and traffic tricks that will pivot your business and skyrocket your online business from surviving to thriving. Imagine what your life would look like today if you bought Bitcoin when it was $1. You now have the same opportunity with Push Button AI since nobody else is doing this. Don't miss out this time.